you know, for sure, flights, air. You're now listening to the Mind of Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God's duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're getting into the Capricorn Ascendant. Now, Capricorn Ascendant people, here's another cardinal initiated rising sign. Now, with Capricorn Ascendant people, now you want to go see and look where Saturn is at to see where these Capricorn traits is going to mostly expound themselves. See what house is at. So, you know, when you got Capricorn Ascendant, these people they're gonna appear to have common sense. A lot of Capricorn Ascendant people though don't have it though. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because of the fourth house is Aries. Now, see, the fourth house is in Aries. So in the home, it appears that everybody is to themselves. Everybody got their own thing going on. So when it's time to gain advice or have a common sense, you have to develop your own kind of common sense, because the people you will basically be nurtured to within the home, which is yourself, or whatever home you're in, that when it gets manifested outward, whatever you live at or be at most of the time you feel most comfortable. The people in your surroundings are going to be all for self and all about knowing thyself, and all about if you need an opinion from someone, they're gonna overly exert their opinion aggressively because they feel like this is something you should already know. So they're gonna look. So you may grow up with a lot of people looking at you stupid, or a lot of people looking at you like you don't know nothing, and you may be the smartest person in the world, but you can't express it that way because Capricorns are the thinkers. They're not fillers. So they like to think logically, and they don't like to say anything unless it makes sense to themselves first. They don't like to just go out talking like a Pisces or a Sag and not making sense. They don't like to just go off doing things like an Aries or a Scorpio or a Libra and just go off doing things that doesn't quite make sense. They like to make sense of it first, or they ain't gonna do it at all. And Scorpio Ascendant people, this is their personality. So it's gonna seem, people are gonna look at you like you're slow or stupid or something when you know you ain't. You just take extra precautions that other people don't. You know what I'm saying? And that's due to the fact because Aries is in the fourth house. Now, when you get to the seventh house is Cancer. So throughout your life, you not getting a certain amount of acceptance from others or opinions from others, you know what I'm saying, because of the Aries in the fourth house, it leaves you to develop your own common sense. Now when we get to the seventh house, which is Cancer, when it's time to relate to others, you're going to do it with possessions and being logical, when in reality people are going to want you to be nurturing and caring. But see, you're not going to know how to do that because of the fourth house. You know what I'm saying? This is the life path you have to learn. All ascendants has life paths. Life paths is about learning. It's about the square. Squares are learning. You know, just the squares are learning. The oppositions are the give and receive. The sextiles is the opportunity. The trines is the gift that you have to act on. You know what I'm saying? The knowing. So, but when we talk about ascendant signs, the most important is the grand cardinal cross, the squares. That's the most important, the learning aspect. Just because you have a square opposition, that don't mean bad. Good or bad has nothing to do. Right or wrong has nothing to do with astrology. People need to know that. Just because you equating things to be negative or bad or wrong in your life, or right, or the way you're supposed to do it in your life, doesn't necessarily mean the origins of the situation is right or wrong. There's no such thing as right or wrong when we're dealing with this right here. You know what I'm saying? So square is what's needed. Squares is what it is when we're talking about ascendants. You know what I'm saying? Sextiles and trines, that's just to help there. But the squares is the learning process. And when you in life is about learning. So you always need to, if you're a person without no squares, oppositions in your chart, I feel sorry for you. You probably running around just learning about this shit like, yeah, I got all trines and sextiles, shit, conjunctions, I'm the shit. And then you wonder why you ain't really manifesting what you think you should be manifesting. You know what I'm saying? You may get a certain amount of things you need, but how long you gonna want what you already need, to the point that you want to reach out there and grab it. See, this is what Scorpios have to learn. I mean, Capricorns have to learn the most with Capricorn's ascendants. You know what I'm saying? Because their chart ruler is Saturn. So they already learning more than others. You know what I'm saying? Already. Now, the 7th house, like I said, you're going to need that nurture. You know what I'm saying? So in relationships, you're going to have to learn how to be more caring. And not put everything into, like possessions or what you have or common sense. Like you would sit there and think that you giving a certain amount of common sense to somebody is your way of expressing love, but this person may not experience love in that way. So that's why the 7th house here is Cancer. You know what I'm saying? Then we get to the 10th house, where you're gonna reach your status quo, and that's Libra. So you always gonna find people who gonna relate. You know what I'm saying? I got a pimple on my nose right there. That ain't good for status right there. Y'all Capricorns know about that. Y'all put a band-aid on y'all shit before y'all step outside with a big ass bump on y'all face. But you know, yeah, you know, Capricorns, the 10th house is how you reach your status quo, and that's Libra. So you always gonna have to be some form of hate or some form of relatable relationship with another to reach your status quo. You always gonna have to show, if you're in a relationship, if you're a male, you're in a relationship with a female, or if you're a female Capricorn rising, you're in a relationship with a male, you always gonna have to show people what you do in your relationship that's better than others for you to reach your status quo. It's always like it's almost like a game, like who can reach to the top of the ladder first in whatever situation that they in. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about the internet, Facebook and stuff, you're always gonna be the one who wanna express your love for other and wait for that in return. You know what I'm saying? That's how Facebook go for Capricorn risings. You know what I'm saying? They like to be around people who get a lot of likes. They like to be around people who get a lot of opportunities handed to them, because they don't necessarily get it. So they figure if they're around someone else with the status quo, then they can build their own little status quo and everything will be all right. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's another thing they have to learn. You know what I'm saying? And these people, but they off the back are self-efficient. They're self-efficient, you know what I'm saying? Because Mars is exalted here also. So these people are very self-sufficient and business orientated. Even if it's a Capricorn ascendant person who's not really into business like that, the way they even handle their day-to-day, they could be at the grocery store, right? And they could say you're a Capricorn ascendant and you buying groceries, right? And then you finna put everything up on a little escalator thing so it could get rung up. You will put everything in order. You know what I'm saying? You'll put all the cereal boxes next to each other. You know, some people just throw stuff up there so they can empty the buggy. Not a Capricorn ascendant. They put everything in order. All the cereal boxes together, all the meats be put up together in the buggy. They pick everything out the buggy in order wise, instead of like an air or fire sign that they just might air or fire sign that they just might throw everything up there, whatever they grab first out the buggy. Or unlike a water ascendant sign where they may only put everything up there and then like do something weird and slide it to the side or something like that. You know, but the Capricorn ascendant people, they put everything in order. Everything will be in order, you know what I'm saying, as they get rung up. You know what I'm saying? So that's like a business structure type of way of putting things together. You know what I'm saying? So these Capricorn ascendant people, they're very reliable. You know what I'm saying? Well, they can appear to be reliable, but the sun and the moon is going to determine that. But they appear to be reliable, so if you catch them at their most natural state, 9 times out of 10 they're going to have what you need from them. You know what I'm saying? But if they out here acting and reacting to certain things, they may not. You know what I'm saying? You got to catch them at home. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. You know, so that's the Capricorn ascendant people in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could expound on these longer, but they have to be under 15 minutes due to the allegations that YouTube be putting on me, which is stupid. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's go to the next one. Nigga, flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure, air.